Welcome back to HB Unfiltered Sports Talk. I'm joined by the Stiff Brownie, and we have the intern with us today, and the Dirtbag. And today's show is brought to you by J3 Supply Group for your hose and fitting specialist. Come on down, good guys. Let's start the show off right off the bat with what happened this day in sports. So we're going to switch it over to the intern right now.
So on this day in sports history, July 5th, these are all MLB history. 1937, we have the New York Yankees outfielder Joe DiMaggio hitting his 20th home run of the season, but first career grand slam in an 8-4 win versus the Sox. In 87, the A's first baseman Mark McGwire becomes the first rookie to hit 30 home runs before the MLB All-Star Game. 1989, we have Barry Bonds homers in Pittsburgh's 6-4 loss versus the Giants, joining father Bobby Bonds as MLB father-son home run record holders at 408. Wow. 1998, we have Toronto Blue Jays pitcher Roger Clemens collecting his 3,000th career strikeout in 2-1 win versus Tampa Bay, the 11th to achieve this special milestone. And then recently we had some cool things happening in MLB. We have Trout and Ohtani went for the yard again. Their 30th time they have hit a home run in the same game. And Eli De La Cruz hit for the cycle for the Reds. And this is an accomplishment where one batter hits a single, a double, a triple, and a home run all in the same game.
Awesome. That's impressive.
Yeah,
he's a great kid to watch. He's exciting. He's electric. He can do it all.
Yeah, he's so fast, man. He's going to hit for the cycle quite a bit because not only does he have obviously the strength to hit monster home runs, but
sure,
he turns doubles into triples.
Triples, yeah, 100. Yep.
So
absolutely,
yeah, that guy's amazing. But I got to go back to it. Always strikes a chord with me, and hopefully a bunch of other listeners out there. Roger Clemens, the guy's got over 3,000 strikeouts. The guy's got over 300 wins. Yes, he got caught in the steroid scandal, but come on, everybody's doing the steroids on both sides of the mound and hitting. And the fact that like Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, she brought up 30 homers before the All-Star break. By the way, Ohtani just did that as well. So Ohtani, who also pitches and is on Cy Young Award pace, also hit for 30 homers. But come on, just put them all in. Rose, if you have to put an asterisk by it, do it.
That's the one that kills me the most is Pete Rose. I get it. Much like Barry Bonds, he wasn't very favorable with
the media.
The media and Major League Baseball didn't. The commissioner, he gave people a lot of shit. But that guy was unbelievable. And as a manager of the Reds, he bet on his team to win, and he got in trouble for it. But that was as a manager. What he did as a player is a whole different situation. You've got to be able to separate the two. Barry Bonds, his ability to, in 4 at-bats, to see one hittable pitch and hit it out of the ballpark is pretty amazing to me. I played baseball, as did you, so you get it.
Right.
People that didn't play baseball don't understand how hard that is. Simple.
Yeah.
They just don't get it.
Yeah.
Roger Clemens, I think if he wouldn't have lied, like under oath, right? It might have been a little different situation with him. But
I get that.
I was really shocked when the whole Mitchell report came out to find out they buried the names of the players that were playing. But from what I was told by very close sources in Major League Baseball, there were more pitchers on that list than there were position players. So that was kind of interesting to me when that whole thing went down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't understand why these guys aren't in there. And, hell, Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire were responsible for that home run chase of Roger Maris, and they put baseball back on the map because they had just had a strike season where there were scabs playing for them, and everybody was up in arms. It's like,
no World Series in 94.
As long as it's going good and they're hitting home runs, Major League Baseball loved him. They're like, yes, you're getting us popular again. And then all of a sudden, it's like, now I'm going to turn my back on you. I don't like how Major League Baseball handled the whole thing myself.
Exactly. Like watching Ohtani hit these monster home runs. That one the other day, 493. Yeah. I mean, seriously, are you kidding me?
He has like a little Ichiro to him, too. He like gets out of the way and then clears his hands, and somehow his hips are still in it. I mean, he looks so off balance on some of his swings.
His hips don't lie.
His hips don't lie. Right.
Yeah, he's raking, man. I know he recently got pulled from the Padre game because he got a blister. Hopefully, he is going to be ready for when they go to Dodger Stadium
Yes, this
on
weekend.
Saturday. It's Japanese Heritage Night.
When he's pitching?
Yep.
Oh, that's going to be amazing.
I'm telling you, it would only be better if they gave away a bobblehead with him in Dodger gear.
Yep.
But
he's going to get a great taste of what he
yes.
originally thought.
Foreshadowing.
We've said this multiple times on the podcast that Ohtani thought he was going to the Dodgers when he ended up signing with the Angels. I don't know who gave him horrible information on this.
Yes.
But there was a huge discrepancy between what the Dodgers were at that time and what the Angels were.
Yeah.
Okay. And I heard this story that I'm going to bring up right now, and I kind of told our intern a little bit about it earlier today, but I heard this story from a very good source that they were off season. This is back in 2018. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. No, March, you said, correct?
March 2018.
Okay. And Kershaw's off season, he's in Africa with his family. Okay.
Okay. Dodgers
call him up and say, hey, we need you to come back and basically do like a recruiting trip for this Ohtani kid. He's going to come in and we got this guy scheduled. And Kershaw's like, I'm on break with my family in Africa. Because Kershaw's as classy as they come, he says, no sweat. They fly him out private.
Right.
Pops in. Guess who doesn't show up?
Ohtani?
Ohtani doesn't show up.
Why?
Nobody knows.
Oh.
Nobody knows. This is how the story goes.
Oh, I was waiting.
And he goes, and so I'm sitting here and I'm going, this just reaffirms what I already thought, which is that he really didn't think the Dodgers were like he thought they were the New York Mets, I think, versus being the New York Yankees.
Okay.
You know, like they were the second tier team.
Oh.
So now he's obviously figured it out, but I mean,
he's going to figure it out on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that whole Kershaw and him thing works out. I'm sure Kershaw's a class enough act and professional that he probably won't care. Or, you know, maybe Ohtani and him have talked and swept it under the rug. But you stand up a first ballot Hall of Famer because you are getting information from somebody that says,
that's definitely interesting. Well, he's going to know who Kershaw and the Dodgers are on Saturday night. Yep. And I'll tell you what, it could get to the point where it gets real interesting because, of course, you're going to have 25,000 Japanese fans standing up when he takes the mound. But I'll be shocked if the other 40,000 don't stand up and start cheering him on like, hey, we've heard you, not just on this podcast, other people are talking about it too, Ohtani going possibly to the Dodgers. This is their chance to give him like the greatest introduction ever and standing ovation. Could you imagine if he's standing up on that mound and he just starts taking it all in and he just does a 360 looking around at Dodger Stadium and taking it all in?
That'd be insane.
That will be a moment.
So can we dive a little bit further into this Ohtani thing? Because obviously we're talking about him getting traded, this, that, and the other. But obviously you heard the news with what happened with Mr. Trout.
Always gets hurt.
And then Mr. Glass, Mr. Street Clothes Rendon also got hurt. So that's a shocker. He's on the DL again. But so now what do you do if you're the Angels?
Well, you know, I knew this was going to come. It's just a matter of time. You know, when Trout gets hurt, this is where it's going to lead to the Angels losing games. And the further they fall behind, the easier decision it will be for Artie Moreno to cut the cord and make a trade and get a ton in return. And he's not going to take as much backlash because any normal Angel fan, I even talked to a couple Angel fans and just threw it by them. Do you want to be mad now or do you want to be mad later?
Right.
It's going to happen. You're not going to. You don't have enough money to keep him, and as much as you think Artie Moreno has that kind of money and wants to pay one guy $650,
he has no leverage. He has zero leverage.
He doesn't. He's an unrestricted free agent. If he doesn't like playing for the Angels, and they're better than Oakland fans. Oakland fans don't even show up. Right. But it's still, you go to the games, there's still like, a lot of seats.
Yeah,
there's a lot of seats. So I think this is just going to speed up the fact that Trout's out and they're going to lose. And if there's something more wrong than just a blister with his arm and him coming out of that Padre game, that's going to be a real problem for the Angels.
Yeah, I mean, why do you wait? Why do you want to wait? if you're Artie Moreno or the GM for the Angels, why are you waiting? So that a guy that plays two ways could potentially, because he pitches, there's a chance he's going to hurt himself while on the mound.
Yes.
Because he's a position player, he could have what happened to Mike Trout.
Correct.
Breaking that, what is it, the Hemet bone?
Yeah,
or something like that?
we're gonna go to the intern on this one because we had her check this out. What the hell is a Hamet bone?
I need to look it up again, but I believe it's a bone in the left wrist, and supposedly it will require a surgery, and the estimate for recovery time is 3 to 7 weeks.
Okay, see,
So
now we're already talking literally a month, but it could almost drag on to 2 months that Trout's out.
And here's another thing. Let me bring this up. The Angels, for as long as I've watched them, are notorious for bagging games right before the All-Star break. They lose.
Yes.
And that's why they're on one of my cold teams, because we're right before the All-Star break.
Yep. And they got a tough schedule.
They always lose games right before the All-Star break, which makes them coming out of the All-Star break with 2 weeks left almost non-existent when it comes to the playoff scheme of things, and that's why Artie sells his players.
Right.
So that being said, now you got Trout out for 2 months. You got Rendon out for at least 10 days with a contusion on his shin.
Yeah.
You got some young players that are playing as hard as they can, but they're just not nearly as good as like San Diego Padres that they played this past weekend.
Correct. So back to this Ohtani and the trade thing with the Angels. Let's say Angel fan goes, no, we got to keep him. We got to try to go for it. You already got Moustakas, you got Escobar. You don't have a very deep. You got Joe Odell that you can basically trade. He's been on fire. He hit a 514-foot home run, by the way, at
Do you know
Salt
that he
Lake
had
City.
23 home runs?
Yes, he leads.
And I'm like, this guy cannot get it done at the pro level. Something's wrong.
Well, they brought him up, so he's going to have to try to get it done because he's taking the place of Trout. He's going to come in and start playing in the outfield.
Maybe he just puts a little too much pressure on himself, at the professional level.
It could be, but he is young. Maybe sending him down, and he realizes, I need to get better. But let's just go back to the trade scenario. Let's say the Angels try to trade and get better. You're going to trade and get a good pitcher that's on a bad team that has a lot of money owed to him and an expiring contract, most likely. Like a Scherzer. So you get like a one and done. Do you really want to give up a Zach Neto or a Joe Adell or future draft picks when your farm system's not good and get a pitcher that will probably leave after this year?
No.
And if you don't make the playoffs, that was a waste of money. Now you've worsened you need to go the other way.
Yep.
You need to trade Trout, Rendon, and Ohtani and just absolutely get top-notch players in return.
And in Ohtani's case, because he is healthy, again, why are they waiting so long? They've allowed the Dodgers because of the May injury, and I think Urias was hurt a little bit, and then obviously Buehler has been hurt the whole season. They've brought up, remember the podcast we had a couple weeks ago where we were talking about all this talent that was ranked, second, third, fifth in their organization and then in the top 20 in all of baseball?
Yes.
All those pitchers are up, and guess what? Miller's killing it. Sheehan's killing it.
Yes.
They just keep bringing up guys that are killing it. So now, these are now super valuable assets, whereas as a minor league player, they're potentially an asset.
Right.
They've waited too long on all of this. Pull the trigger. What are you waiting for?
This is a genius of the Dodgers. We're sitting here saying they're not playing very well. They got too many rookies, but this is what they're doing. They're showcasing their rookies, showing you they're only a couple games back of the Diamondbacks who've been playing great. They're only like 4 out.
Yep.
The Dodgers are going to make this trade. They're going to bring back the veterans that are getting healthy off the DL, and they're gonna kill it.
Yep.
They're going to kill it.
I just don't think what the Angels could have gotten for Ohtani a month ago, they're going to get that if they continue to wait. I just don't see it. Well, you could have gotten 2 great pitching prospects now because of what they've been able to do at the major league level, you're maybe getting one.
Well, I think they're going to wait till the trade deadline because I think they want to play this out. I think Artie Moreno wants to take this all the way to the very end to tell people, to make it an easier decision for him and to let his fans know, hey, we tried. Trout got hurt again. Rendon got hurt again. We're 8 games out going into this, trading deadline. It's a much easier sell than if he does it when they're 2 games in the wild card.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, my gut tells me that he doesn't have enough people knocking on his door. That's what my gut tells me, because if you have people that you can pair against each other saying, hey, Mets are offering this. And, you're offering me Y. I need more. Which I don't think there's probably anybody that's really knocking on the door right now, because they do know that Ohtani's a free agent and can leave at the end of the season. So. And
Steve Cohen, the owner of the Mets, he's completely depressed with how the Mets have played this year. And I could see him, throwing Lindor, Alonso. Hey, give me Ohtani.
Shake everything up.
But why would Ohtani even okay that or want to sign with the Mets if you're going to give away your core and you're already not winning anyways?
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the Mets. I don't think Ohtani's the type of guy that wants to be in the spotlight of New York with their papers, the way they get on you with one bad outing. I think Ohtani I think he's sensitive. I think he wants to stay on the West Coast.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and then now you don't have the ability to trade Trout anymore because he's now hurt.
Well, I still think you can trade a guy that's hurt. It's all about. I think the Phillies would still do it. I think the Phillies want Trout bad.
Okay.
Put him with Bryce Harper and Trey Turner.
They're starting to finally take off. The Phillies are.
Yeah, they are, and we're going to talk more about it, on our next podcast. But real quick, I got to throw it out there to myself. I picked Ricky Fowler to win the Rocket Mortgage.
Nice job.
I picked that. The other guys, a couple of them played well. The other guys got kind of tanked. And real quick, I want to get my picks for this week. John Deere Classic, hardly anybody's playing, so you probably don't know some of these names, but just trust me, they're playing well. Harry Higgs.
Oh, I like Harry.
Yeah, he needs to work out, though. He's the new John Daly.
Yeah.
He looks like he's like a regular Joe like us. JT Poston won it last year. He might place. Eric Cole's been playing hot. And go with Sam Ryder.
Awesome.
These are all pay very well.
Top 5, top 10, top
10.
20.
Pays well.
Cheers.
Have a good week.